1927. A man named Joe Thompson in Dallas, Texas, started selling milk, bread, and eggs from an ice dock. He had no idea he was inventing the convenience store. The stores got their famous name in 1946, reflecting their then shocking hours of operation, 7 in the morning to 11 at night. In an era when most shops closed by 6 in the evening, staying open that late felt like a revolution. And he definitely had no idea that nearly 100 years later, the company he started would be owned, run, and perfected by a country he probably could not find on a map. Today, 7-Eleven is a Japanese company. Its global headquarters sit in Tokyo, not Texas. Japan has over 21,000 locations, more than double the 9,500 stores in the country that built it. And every single traveler who visits Japan's version says the same thing when they walk in for the first time. This is not the same store. This is the story of how the student became the owner, and what Japan did to 7-Eleven that America never thought to try. 7-Eleven started in Dallas in 1927 as the Southland Ice Company. By 1961, Southland was franchising. By 1973, a Japanese supermarket chain called Ito-Yokado signed a licensing deal to bring 7-Eleven to Japan. The first Japanese store opened in Tokyo in May 1974. Nobody at Southland headquarters thought much of it. It was just another franchise agreement in another country. They had no idea what was coming. Through the late 1970s and into the 1980s, something strange was happening on both sides of the Pacific. In America, 7-Eleven was expanding fast, but the business underneath was getting weaker. The company took on a massive leveraged buyout in the late 1980s and could not handle the debt. Stores were being sold off, revenue was falling, the whole thing was coming apart. In Japan, the opposite was happening. The Japanese stores were thriving, cleaner, more profitable, more popular, and more deeply woven into daily life than anything America had built. Then came the moment that rewrote the whole story. In 1990, Southland Corporation, the American parent of 7-Eleven, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Ito-Yokado stepped in. They injected $430 million into the collapsing company and took a 70% controlling stake. The student was now the majority owner. In 2005, Japan completed the move, buying the remaining shares and making 7-Eleven Incorporated a fully owned subsidiary of 7-Eleven Japan. The global headquarters moved from Dallas to Tokyo. The American 7-Eleven now reports to Japan. The licensee had bought the licensor. This almost never happens in business history. A company licenses a brand from another country, builds it into something better than the original, and then buys the original outright. And here is the line that should be at the bottom of every American 7-Eleven receipt. Every time you walk into a 7-Eleven in the United States, you are walking into a Japanese-owned store. If you ask most Americans what 7-Eleven sells, you get the same answers. Slurpees, hot dogs on a roller, taquitos under a heat lamp, nachos from a machine, things you buy at 2 in the morning when nothing else is open and your standards have temporarily left the building. In Japan, that reputation does not exist because the food is completely different. Fresh food is delivered to Japan's 7-Eleven stores multiple times every single day. Not once in the morning and done. Multiple times. The shelves are restocked throughout the day, so that what you pick up at 3 in the afternoon is not the same item that arrived at 6 in the morning. The egg salad sandwich became so famous among tourists that food writers started flying to Tokyo specifically to try it. It is made with soft milk bread and Japanese Kewpie mayonnaise, a combination so good that people write about it like a restaurant experience. It costs about $2. The onigiri, Japanese rice balls, come in dozens of flavors and are made fresh daily. Tuna mayo, grilled salmon, pickled plum, spicy cod roe, each one a complete, portable meal. The bento boxes are assembled that morning, the sushi is made the same day, and the desserts, matcha puddings in spring, chestnut sweets in autumn, and strawberry shortcakes in winter, Rotate with the seasons like a proper restaurant menu. A full meal at Japan's 7-Eleven, meaning a main dish, a drink, and a dessert, costs roughly $5 to $7. Japan's first 7-Eleven CEO, Toshifumi Suzuki, ate his own store's bento lunch every single day. Not for show, to find what was wrong with it. Then he fixed it. Then he did it again the next day. That feedback loop, repeated thousands of times over decades, is how the food got that good. Here's a detail that sounds small until you think about it. Rice balls wrapped in seaweed have a problem. The seaweed absorbs moisture from the rice and goes soft within a few hours. By the time it reaches a customer, the texture is gone. The crunch that makes it enjoyable is already dead. Japan's 7-Eleven solved this with a 3-layer wrapper that keeps the seaweed completely separated from the rice until the exact moment you are ready to eat. Crispy seaweed. Every time. Even after 6 hours on the shelf. This one packaging innovation turned onigiri into a national staple. When 7-Eleven Japan launched rice balls in 1978, it changed the entire identity of the store. Walk into a 7-Eleven in Japan, and the food is almost a secondary thing. The list of services available inside will make your head spin if you are used to the American version. ATMs that accept foreign cards are often easier to use than a Japanese bank, with menus available in English, Chinese, Korean, and Portuguese. You can pay your electricity bill, your gas bill, your water bill, and your taxes at the register. Not at a government office, not online, at 7-Eleven. The clerk scans the barcode on your bill. You pay cash, and you get a stamped receipt on the spot. Concert and event tickets, sports games, museum admissions, and amusement park passes are all purchasable at the counter. There is a full copy center where you can print, scan, and copy documents. Bring a USB drive and print photographs, all inside a convenience store. You can also ship and pick up packages. Drop off a package through Japan Post, or have your online orders delivered to the store so you can pick them up instead of waiting at home. Most locations offer free Wi-Fi. Selected stores provide currency exchange. Some locations offer basic document processing. Japan realized it was easier to let people handle paperwork through convenience stores than through government offices, so they built it in. An elderly couple in Tokyo described how their local vegetable shop and their meat shop had both closed, their owners retired, and no one took over. In Japan, 7-Eleven is not a convenience store. It is infrastructure. This part is harder to put into numbers, but it matters. Japan's 7-Eleven stores are clean, not just the kind of clean you get at some gas stations. Actually clean, bright lighting that feels welcoming rather than aggressive, aisles that are easy to navigate, a layout that makes sense. Every customer who walks in is greeted. Staff say "irashaimasu," which means welcome, every single time, without exception. Microwaves are available on the premises so you can heat your meal before you leave. Hot water stations for instant noodles let you eat in the store. Ice cup stations let you pour your own drink and control exactly how cold you want it. Some locations stock craft beers from around the world. One store in Yokohama became known specifically for its international craft beer selection at a 7-Eleven. In America, walking into a 7-Eleven at night often feels like a transaction you want to finish as fast as possible. In Japan, people eat lunch there on purpose, by choice, even when other options exist. That gap in experience is not an accident. It is the result of decades of deliberate decisions about what a convenience store is supposed to be. This is about hospitality and intentional design. There are two Japanese concepts that explain why this worked. The first is kaizen. It means continuous improvement, the idea that nothing is ever finished, that every product and every process can always be made slightly better, and that this improvement never stops. The second is kodawari. It means an obsessive dedication to doing one thing with complete care, a refusal to accept good enough when better is possible. Japan applied both of these to a $1.50 rice ball at a convenience store. The delivery system was borrowed directly from Toyota's manufacturing model, the same just-in-time logistics that revolutionized car production, applied to sandwiches. Multiple temperature-controlled supply chains, frozen, chilled, warm, and room temperature, run simultaneously to clusters of nearby stores. Every product is tracked. Every underperforming item is replaced. The menu never stands still. America looked at all of this and thought, we need to copy the egg sandwich. Japan built a system. America saw a product. Japan's 7-Eleven did not succeed because it made better food. It succeeded because the entire country was built for it. Think about how Japan works physically. It is dense, walkable. In most Tokyo neighborhoods, you can reach a 7-Eleven in under 3 minutes on foot. Stores are clustered close together on purpose, so that a delivery truck can hit 10 locations in one short loop multiple times a day without burning half the profit on fuel and time. America is the opposite. Most US 7-Eleven stores sit next to a highway. They were designed for people in cars who need gas, a drink, and something that has been rotating on a metal roller since last Tuesday. The store is a pit stop, not a destination. Fresh food delivered 3 times a day only makes financial sense when your stores are close enough together that the delivery route is efficient. In Japan, that math works easily. In most of America, that delivery truck is driving 40 minutes between stops, and by the time it arrives, the economics of fresh food fall apart. Then there is the labor question. Japan's convenience store staff are trained, consistent, and operate within a culture that treats service as a serious responsibility. This is not a criticism of American workers. It is just a different system, different incentives, different expectations, different relationship between the employee and the store and the neighborhood around it. That culture cannot be imported in a memo. And then there is the franchise structure. Japan's 7-Eleven controls its supply chain tightly through dedicated food facilities that serve clusters of nearby stores. American franchises operate more independently. Getting thousands of individual franchise owners across a massive and spread out country to overhaul their entire operation at the same time is a fundamentally different challenge than running a centrally coordinated Japanese system. So when 7-Eleven says it is spending $13 billion to bring Japan's model to America, the real question is not whether they have the budget, it is whether America has the geography. Japan did not win because it had a better recipe. Japan won because it built the right system for the country it was actually operating in. And the real lesson, the one that goes far beyond convenience stores, is this: you cannot import someone else's answer. You have to understand why it worked where it worked. Then you have to build your own version from the ground up for your own reality. America invented 7-Eleven. Japan reinvented it for Japan. If America wants it back, it has to reinvent it for America. And as of right now, nobody has figured out how to do that.